As a Colts fan, I hate to say that.
Will Anderson Jr. may win it this year. He's absolute dog.
My bad. Should have fact-checked that one.
So I believe in Jay Daniels. I wish the Steelers got it.
From the tunnel to the court, to the buzzer and the whistle. Big plays, big swings, every shot, every dribble. First down, slam dunk, we track the whole scramble. Late game pressure, you know the whole handle. Stats in the notebook, heat in the discussion. When the crowd get loud, we cut through the rushing. On your mark, let it go. This is where the big moments show. Back and forth, run it back. Game Break Sports, we on the track. Game Break Sports.
Welcome to Game Break Sports, where every play has a story, and that story starts here. Man, I'm happy to be back today. We were able to get some football this past weekend. We got college football starting up here this week, week 0. We got a lot of things to talk about. Luke, how you doing tonight, man?
Dude, I'm doing really good. I'm a little bit tired. The sun beat me down a little bit today. My son actually had his first football game, so that was a blast. But I'm even more excited about something else. You know what that could be?
What's that?
We hit 50 subscribers on YouTube, baby.
Hey, I'm glad you shouted us out. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, man, and showing love on YouTube and also on TikTok. You guys have been commenting every single day, so it's been fun to interact.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys have been in the comment section. You guys have been hitting us with the follows on TikTok, subscribing on YouTube, following on Instagram, been in our live streams, which we really appreciate. So that's awesome, guys. But let's get down to the nitty gritty, Shep, because I know everybody wants to talk about all this football madness that's been going on this past week.
Absolutely. So we did have a starter named in Cleveland. I know we had a discussion a couple of weeks ago about who we thought the starter would be. The Cleveland Browns did decide to go with Deshaun Watson as the starter for week 1. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I know that there was some consideration of Shedeur Sanders being the starter. So what is your thoughts on Deshaun starting the season off?
I think they made the wrong decision, in my opinion. If Deshaun Watson showed sights of his past self, I would be like, yeah, you have Deshaun Watson start because he's going to give you the best chance. This roster is not very good still, especially after losing Myles Garrett, who is their best player by far. They both need work. Shedeur and Deshaun Watson both need work. So go with the quarterback that could be the face of your franchise in a couple years. Don't go with the guy who essentially I would say is a bridge quarterback until they can get a better rookie in there if it's not Shedeur.
100%. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm all for building teams. If you have a young team, let's just do a young quarterback with it. I thought Shedeur didn't do anything in the preseason to solidify himself. And like I told you, I thought that's where the issue had been. I think they play equal in the preseason. They both had moments. They both had bad moments, being real. And if you have that with Deshaun Watson getting paid $40 million and the other guy getting $1.5 million, from ownership down, it's an easy decision. And I think that's what played a part in that decision. I don't think it was like quarterback play. I think it was like monetary reasons.
I would agree with that. Probably makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of things that are wrong with Deshaun Watson in this case, though. Like I said, the numbers are similar, except Shedeur actually had a better completion percentage. He's also the only Browns quarterback that's thrown a touchdown so far in the preseason. So
That's true.
There's more you can work with a young quarterback like Shedeur. Neither of them are that active on their feet, but based off what we saw last year, I think Shedeur has that capability. I heard someone say actually earlier today, it's kind of crazy that Deion Sanders' son doesn't have that mobility factor to him quite yet, which that is true. But yeah, I don't know. And it's interesting with Deshaun Watson too, because clearly like the fans aren't, that much on his side. I mean, you just saw the boos come in this preseason game. Actually, there is a clip of him talking about it after that. Check this out real quick.
I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with What does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all.
So yeah, I mean, Deshaun obviously isn't very fond of the fans. The fans aren't very fond of him.
Mhm.
How are you feeling about that situation?
I think if your fans aren't supporting your starting quarterback year in a year for trouble, let's just say that. So I know he had to do something in the preseason to kind of solidify himself as a starter. And like I said, the money played a factor in that as well. If I'm being real, I think he's more talented than Shador currently. I think Shador still has a lot of work to do in terms of like his accuracy, his the ability of getting rid of the football on time. I know he stays in the pocket a little too long. So I think there's a little things you can work on with Shador to get him to a good starting quarterback. Not saying he couldn't get there, but I think it was an easier decision because we've seen Deshaun be a really good quarterback in the NFL. So they're still hoping that that could come back at some point.
And that's ultimately why he's the starting quarterback now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The monetary reasons, but also because they have seen that potential out of him, which they saw bright spots out of Shador last year, but he was a rookie and he still got a lot of work to
Mm-hmm.
do, like you just said. So obviously he was named the
Okay.
starting quarterback today. Clearly he said some things that he might have regretted, even though he claims to not have any regrets about the fans. He did come out with an apology today. Go ahead and check out his little apology right here.
I want to address the comments from Saturday after the game. Um, you know, I think just, human nature, just myself being very emotional, putting a lot of time these last 2 years to, get back and, spend time in this facility, in the city, meeting a lot of different people in the community. I thought I was going to get, a little different response, but, I think, my emotions got the best of me. And, my comments wasn't intending to go at any of the fans around in the city, because there's been a lot of great fans that have been supporting me.
So yeah, he apologized to the fans about what he said. I don't think it's sincere personally. I feel like his PR team's behind that. He's named the starting quarterback. They said, "Look, Deshaun, we were planning on naming you the starting quarterback. You're going to be that guy, but you got to apologize to the fans because we're not going to deal with this drama all year."
Yeah. I don't think, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that apology was like a real apology. That's all media trained. That's coming from up top. I'm sure the owner called down. I think is it Jimmy Haslam? I think is the owner there.
I have no
Probably got a
idea.
hold of Andrew Berry. He got a hold of Andrew Berry. That's their GM. And was like, hey, you need to get a hold of Deshaun because what he's saying right now, if he keeps talking like that, he won't be a member of this team. And I'm sure that's what happened. Went down to head coach and it got to Deshaun. So at the end of the day, I think people think, these players just make these decisions on their own. And it's not like that. They're still employees at the end of the day. They get paid a lot of money, but they have to do what's right by the owner.
Exactly. I don't know what he was thinking. Like he knows that he's in a. He must have been that assured of his position that he was going to get named the number one quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would you come out and say something like that? Either that or he has no training whatsoever from the PR team. Why would you say
Exactly.
something like that against your own fans of the organization when you're trying to win the starting quarterback spot? You don't,
Yeah,
especially a
that's wild.
veteran that's been in the league for that long.
100%. It's sad, bro. I think Shador will eventually take over there because I don't see Deshaun doing well as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll get his opportunities. He just got to take advantage of it. I think it's a make or break year for both of them.
Mm-hmm. I'll give him 7 games. If he's not 500, or I guess it'd be 8 games. If he's not 500 or better by the 8 game mark, I think that he gets benched for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some other NFL news going on this week. Big trade happened actually. Kayshon Boutte got traded to the Texans from the Patriots. The Patriots ended up getting a 7th-round pick and safety Jalen Reed in the trade. What are your initial thoughts on that?
I think the Patriots had too many guys. I was watching their preseason game. They have another guy that looks good, Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
He's kind of under the radar right now, but he
Uh-huh.
looked very good in the preseason. That probably let them know, like, hey, we have enough depth here where we could go get a piece on defense like a Jalen Reed to kind of solidify that up a little bit because we can afford it at a receiver. Kayshon Boutte was awesome. He was good last year.
Yeah.
So I think he could go to Houston and, be a really good player for them. Maybe their wide receiver too.
Yeah, I think it is one of those trades that does benefit both teams because he is good. This makes the receiving core in Houston because of that injury to Jaden Higgins, which definitely sucks. Him tearing his ACL, he's out for the season this year. It's gonna make it Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Kayshon Boutte. That's a good receiving core, and they got Dalton Schultz, who is a very, very reliable tight end as well.
Yes.
So they're going to be a good, and they just got David Montgomery too. So they're going to be a really good offense, and they only have to be a middle of the pack offense in order to compete when they've got a defense like the way they have. I mean, they've got a Super Bowl winning defense. As a Colts fan, I hate to say that. I absolutely hate to say it. It hurts me in my heart, but they do. So I think it is a huge piece. He put up good numbers last year too, and he really picked it up towards the end of the season. So if he can come in and meld with CJ Stroud the way that he did with Drake May last year, huge piece.
100%. I think it's to allow Tank Dell to ease back into the offense. He just came off a gruesome injury a couple years ago. He's probably going to need at least 6 games to, really ramp up and get himself back to, even close to normal. So Kayshon coming in there and taking that wide receiver 2 role is going to be good for the Texans because, like you said, their defense is already top of the league. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if they're probably top of the league, I'd probably put them at 2, right behind the Rams, especially if Aaron Donald comes back. If we're being honest,
I got the Texans over the Rams.
You think so?
Yeah, because they're secondary. Their
That's what I
secondary
was
is
gonna.
elite,
Okay,
bro.
that's what I was curious about. Yeah, because you would say that they have 2 top 10. Well, you would say they have the second best corner in the entire league, correct?
For sure.
Right behind Surtain. And then you would say that their other corner, you would say would be top 10?
Probably top 15. Lassiter.
Okay. Heard. Yeah.
And then they got Petre, who was an all-pro last year.
So this goes back to the conversation real quick. We were talking previously about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, which Jamar Chase actually looks like he just got banged up at practice today. I really hope he's okay. It looks like a knee injury. Not going to comment on that further until I really hear what's going on with that.
He came out and confirmed that he is fine. So that was good.
Good.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase being number 1, and let's say T. Higgins being probably around that between 18 and 21 mark.
Yeah.
Versus Dallas having, let's say, number 5 or number 6 and number 8 or 9 as wide receivers, right? Which one did we take? That was a big conversation. You could say the same thing with the Colts and Texans secondaries. If you're talking about the Texans having a number 2 overall guy with a top 15 guy, and then the Colts having Sauce Gardner and Charvarius Ward debatably both top 10, which would you take out of those?
Right now, I would take. That's tough. I think I have Sauce Gardner probably in my top 10. He's looked rough the last couple of years. He got to get back into his old self.
I think that was the Jets, though, if I'm being honest. I think
the
whenever
Jets,
you go to the Jets, it's tough. And then he got injured last year.
Exactly. Yeah, he had a really bad calf injury. So it's going to take some time for him to get back. I just don't. Charvarius Ward, for me, I got to see it again. It's been some time since I've seen him be a top corner. I got him and Lassiter on the same tier for sure.
Okay.
So that's where I think, because Stingley's top 3, no doubt about it. People might put Christian Gonzalez in there from the Patriots, but he's in that same group. Sauce isn't in that group.
Heard.
Sauce is more, to me, around 9 or 10 right now.
At least not right now. Okay, I got you. So 2 middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you take Lassiter over Ward?
I think that's just a wash right now.
Heard. Okay, I got you. I think when Ward was healthy last year, he was showing to be possibly a top 10 guy himself. He was eliminating a wide receiver on the field no matter what. And that was before we got Gardner. Now he's going to be covering the number 2 receiver on any team. So it doesn't matter where you place your number 1 guy. left or right side of the field, you're going to have to either go against Sauce Gardner or Travarius Ward. I think they're both possibly top 10. Maybe I put them at 11. I'd have to do my cornerback rankings. I haven't actually written them all down. But
Right. Yeah. Either way, the Texas defense is elite. So they got two great pass rushers too. Like, yeah, Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald are, that goes without saying, they're two of the GOATs. Let's be real. But Will Anderson Jr., that's a sleeper pick. If you guys want a defensive player of the year to possibly look into, placing a bet on for a future or just to look out for, Will Anderson Jr. may win it this year. He's an absolute dog.
I can see that too. He is a dog. You don't want to be a
So
quarterback going against him twice a year.
I'll
Sorry,
watch them
Daniel
kill the
Jones. Sorry,
Steelers.
Trevor Lawrence. Sorry, Cam Ward.
Exactly.
Y'all are screwed a little bit. It's gonna be a tough one.
They got no slouch on the other side with Daniil Hunter.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they're loaded, bro. And Jalen Reed's just going to be another piece they could throw in the mix. So I know we spoke a little bit about college football. We got week 0 starting up here this weekend. I think we got USC playing this weekend. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. It's a long time coming. So we're going to talk about the national champions, I should say here. The IU Hoosiers will kick off their season in September, but we're going to talk about it. They went undefeated last year. Do you think they can repeat as undefeated champions?
Whew, man, I am an IU fan. Always been an IU basketball fan. I have watched the horrible IU football seasons as well. We had some promise in 2020 with Michael Penix Jr. The COVID year, I will say. Didn't pan out. Thought we were going to turn it around with Tom Allen. Didn't do that. But it looks like we're finally doing something here. We obviously had a great season last year. Can they go back to back? Absolutely they can. But will they go back to back? No, they will not.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
No, they will not. It is one of the hardest things in sports, I think, to go back to back winning a college football championship. There's been teams that have done it. Bama has done it. Georgia has done it. I don't think IU is quite to the caliber yet. Do I think Cignetti could go back to back before his head coaching career is over? I do. But this year, I think that Ohio State has a lot of returning players that is going to make them the champion of the Big Ten. You've got a very competitive SEC. Obviously, they're always good. You've got a better than usual ACC. They've been getting very good in the ACC as well. So you've got 3 conferences that are just full of dogs. And unfortunately, IU's got to play in the best one of them. So
yeah, the best one of them. What do you mean by that?
The best conference.
Come on, man. You know that ain't true.
Who's won the championship the last 3 years? I'll tell you, 2024, we got Michigan. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Michigan beat
2023 season, we got Michigan. 2024 season, we got Ohio State. 2025 season, we got IU.
I know, man. I know. I just the Michigan season, that's still up for debate. They might get that ripped from even the whole Connor Stallion thing.
Even if that year they still had 2 teams in the top 4. They had both Michigan and Washington in the top 4.
Washington was not Big Ten at that time. They were Pac-12.
Ah, you're right. The merger didn't happen until the year.
Trust
after,
me, I know.
Right?
My uncle was there.
Yeah. My bad. Should have fact checked that one.
Oh, you're good. You're good. That's why we're both here. We bounce off each other.
Absolutely.
IU, they have an opportunity to at least go undefeated through the regular season. I honestly see it. They got Ohio State at home, and I think that's their toughest game. They got to play in a big house this year. They go to Michigan later in a year, closer to like when it starts getting cold out. I'm interested to see the quarterback, the Hoover guy. I think that's going to make the whole difference in their season. I think Mendoza came from Cal. He surprised a lot of people. He took care of the football. He made the proper throws. He's very smart. I think Hoover has a lot to live up to. A guy like Mendoza, he has a pretty good skill set. So what's your thoughts on him? Have you seen him play at all?
Yeah, so a little bit earlier on in training camp and everything, and honestly did not look great. I haven't seen him closer, but I have heard good things about him.
Sure.
The thing with Mendoza, which I think we talked about prior, but not a lot of people know this, is that when he came from Cal to IU, he was expected to be by far like the ninth or 10th best quarterback in the Big Ten this season. And Kurt Cignetti and his team turned that story around and literally turned him into a Heisman guy that went number one overall. Hoover is higher ranked than what Mendoza was when he came in. So it's
Right.
really going to come down to if Hoover is coachable. If Hoover's coachable, obviously we know what that system can do. They can make Heisman quarterbacks. We saw it with Mendoza last year. He was great. He's also got great people. He's going to have Charlie Becker back this year. He's got great transfers coming in. One of the top wide receiver transfers out of Michigan State, Nick Marsh, he's coming to IU this year. They're expected to be a top two wide receiver duo in all of college this year is Nick Marsh and Charlie Becker. Both expected to possibly go in the first or early second rounds in the draft next year. And then they've got also this running back from Boston College. His name's Turbo Richard. Not totally sure how he's going to end up, but we just lost both of our running backs last year in Kalon Black and Roman Hemby. So I'm very excited to see how he develops into that offense as well.
One thing about Cignetti, I don't think he's going to put a guy that's not coachable at quarterback. His
Exactly.
personality does not strike me as a guy that's going to play like that. Like, if you aren't going to be coachable, you aren't playing for Cignetti.
Yeah.
That's what I got from him. So I'm not really worried about that. What I am worried about is like in stadium is different, bro. Everybody performs different when the lights shine bright. So Mendoza, when the lights shine bright, he performed well. Hoover, this guy may look great against, the subpar teams that he plays earlier in the year, but then when they go to play Ohio State, he could shut down. I'm interested to see it. I believe in Cignetti though, bro. And I'm not even an IU fan. What he did with that program, with the players that he did it with, that's by far to me the most impressive thing in college football history.
Yeah,
Like he
100%. The
completely
turnaround
turned
that
it
he
around.
had in
Yeah.
2 seasons. 2 seasons, he took them to the playoffs, and then he made them an undefeated team, which scratch going back to back, going undefeated in college football and winning the championship, like undefeated throughout an entire season, might be harder
Yep.
to do than going back to back even. So
Yeah.
the fact he was able to do that with statistically the second worst college football organization ever.
I didn't know that. Who's first?
I have no idea who's first. All I
Oh,
know is that all I know is every time I turn on the TV, everyone is always saying second worst, second worst, second worst
that's
college
crazy.
football like organization of all time or university of all time. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
he's able to do something magical with those kids, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he puts in the water, but he's doing something right over at IU.
It shows you the value in coaching, bro. Like coaching is still something that's needed in all sports. Like you could
Mm-hmm.
take a bunch of 2 or 3 star guys, teach them the right way, the ins and out, where to be at. And also, people don't remember like he came from Nick Saban's tree, a
Yeah.
recruiting guy, so he knows what to look for in these guys. So it may not be the 5 stars, but he sees the stuff that we don't see
That's
when
the
it
thing
comes to that
too.
stuff.
He had
Yeah,
no 5 stars on his team last year, and he only had
exactly.
7 4 stars. And he was able to go undefeated winning a championship. He merges these guys together so well
Mhm.
at that school. And I've always thought that as a Pacers fan, I've always thought that team chemistry is more important than having stars on the team.
Yeah, it
And IU
transfers. Yeah,
showed that that's real.
yeah. I'm with you on that, bro. Football is totally different though. Like if you got a team that's willing to ride with each other and they're all fundamentally sound, they all take care of their job, that's most important in football, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and he had those guys clicking and they beat all the top programs. Alabama, freaking Ohio State. All these guys pay so much money in NIL to their players and they came through IU and beat them all
They beat
bad.
Oregon twice.
Beat Oregon. I didn't even talk about Oregon.
Beat Oregon at
Okay.
Oregon,
Yeah.
and
So
then
I'm
beat
gonna
them
run through
again
their
on the big
schedule.
stage.
I'm gonna run through their schedule real quick, and you tell me. You stop me if you hear a loss. Okay.
Okay.
They got North Texas,
That's a
first
win.
game of the year. Howard,
That's a win.
Western Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern,
Mm-hmm.
Rutgers, Nebraska, then they got Ohio State.
And that
That's
may be
NIU.
the loss.
Okay.
Ohio State is pissed after last year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that. And they're circling that game on their schedule. They're circling that game maybe over the Michigan game that they're gonna play this year. Like they want to beat IU bad. So
That's a
that may
tough
be an
back to
L.
back.
Hmm.
Because they got Michigan right after in the big house. Then they go to Minnesota, or they're at home against Minnesota. They got USC. We'll see how USC looks this year. They're a big program though, so I'm sure they'll be at least decent. And
Hmm.
then Washington, which Washington is just a good program. I don't know how good they'll be this year, but they're a good program. And they finish off with the, Boilermakers.
Yeah,
They'll probably smash them.
I know they've got four teams on their schedule that are ranked: OSU, Michigan, USC, Washington, within looks like a 6 week span with a bye week in between there.
Yeah.
So there's possibilities for losses there. I don't think that they're going to make the playoff if they have more than two losses. If they did take two losses, I would assume it would be to OSU. I could also see, depending on how they're playing at the time, them having a non-expected upset to Washington going across the country to play that game, depending on how
Oh
good
wow.
Washington's going to be this year.
Okay.
That's what I could see. If they
You
lose
know,
to
if
OSU when they go to Michigan, I don't think they're going to lose that game because I think Signetti is one of those guys that won't lose twice in a row. Like he's going to bounce back aggressively if they lose that Ohio State game.
does a two-loss Big Ten team get into the college football playoff?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Depending on who their two losses are. If the two
That's what I
losses
was about to say.
came to OSU and Washington, they wouldn't be high up, but they would be like an Alabama team last year. They
Okay.
would they would make it at like the 10th spot, 11th spot,
Yeah.
or whatever. I guess the 11th and 12th spots are for it's
Yeah.
such
Certain words I forget. Yeah, it's
weird
majority,
rules.
majority something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think they can go back to back, bro. I just believe in their program. I believe in the
Hmm.
coach. And I think if your coach is as top as he is, as good as he is, your team will always be good. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm gonna turn on the TV this weekend, turn on some college football.
Man, we're
Can't
gonna
wait.
get our. I got my first taste a little bit watching my boy play some middle school football. We're gonna have some college football that actually matters. These games are going towards the record, so this is real. This is real
Yep.
taste of the football. But there has been some controversy involving college football recently. I know it's been taking over my feed everywhere, but they have made it okay in order to get a restraining order. If you're on an NFL team or sign with an NFL team, declare for the draft. If you get waived before a specific date, in order to, as long as you're still eligible to play in college, go back and sign with a college. Most notably, it just happened with a player, tight end Daquan Wright. He was playing for Ole Miss. He got signed undrafted by the Browns. He got waived just recently, and now he intends on signing with LSU to play for his old coach Lane Kiffin there. How do you
Yep.
feel about players being able to do that?
It's bad for the sport, bro. It's
Mm-hmm.
bad because you got guys that are making business decisions. Like, if you're going to go to the NFL, go to the NFL, but don't try to backtrack when you don't make the team and have a fallback option with, people that's playing on scholarships or this 18-year-old high schooler who may have been a last scholarship, but then you want to come back and play, pull the 18-year-old out of the program. It's a lot of little stuff like that I get worried about, because it becomes such just a business. And guys like, I'm not talking about the tight end or whatever. I'm just talking about in general. Like,
Yeah,
I think it could create issues with not only like the high school athletes wanting to, you know, maybe get that last scholarship offer, but also the draft. Like, if you're not a top, third round pick or higher, why would I want to go to the draft
mm-hmm.
when I could just stay back a whole nother year? It's going to kill the depth of the draft. I'm all for it. If you sign um, the intentions to go to the NFL draft, you're immediately like banned from playing college football. Period.
I agree
That's where
with
I'm
that.
at on it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't think it's good for the sport at all. We actually saw it happen a couple times last year with the some NBA guys that played on G League teams, they were able to come back and play for some SEC college teams, and they
Yeah.
had to go through a bunch of legal things to see if they were going to be eligible to play. Ultimately, they were passed. It just doesn't feel right that you can go play at a level, at a professional level, and then be able to go back and then play collegiately again because you're not
Hmm.
playing against the same caliber of players.
Right.
Obviously, when you didn't make it at a professional level, that checks out, but you're still going to be much better than a lot of the collegiate guys that you're going against too. So it
Hmm.
blurs the lines as well, just with the NIL being a thing
Exactly.
now, and like how like the business decision aspect of it. It's I don't know. It's a very messy situation. Something that did come out today, though, I saw earlier, the Big Ten actually banned this themselves. They unanimously voted to not allow players to come back and sign with one of their teams. And I just got a notification a few hours ago that the SEC did the same thing. So now this whole thing with Daquan Wright going back to LSU, I don't know if he's actually even going to be able to do it because of what SEC just passed over there. So it makes it very interesting as to how that's going to play out over the next few weeks while we're getting into the college football season.
Which sucks. Like, think about being in this dude's shoes where he probably requested away from the professional team, knowing he had a roster spot. Maybe about, let's call it what it is. Guys in NIL are getting paid like upwards. Some guys are getting paid, $5 million a year. Not all of them, but like the star players in college are getting 5 million, 2 million, $3 million a year, and they're like, okay, if I'm getting offered that, and then I could go back in college versus playing the practice squad, maybe getting a couple 100,000 in a year.
Exactly.
And that's for most people, that's an easy decision. But I just think that there should be a barrier. Like if you
Mhm.
decide to go on that side, you can't come back to this side
Well,
ever.
did you know that Lane Kiffin was calling Todd Monken to ask him if he thinks that Daquan was going to be on the team to start the season
Yeah,
or
I
not?
saw that. That's messy, bro.
That's
That's so
super
messy.
messy. That's super messy. I don't
And
like
I
it at
really
all.
hope LSU. This is Lane Kiffin is making me not like LSU, bro. The way he did Ole Miss, the way he's doing this whole NIL thing with these NFL players, like, bro, that's wrong, bro. He's taking it way too far. I
Nick
get
Saban
one
would
to
not be
win.
proud.
Yeah, I get one to win, but bro, do it the right way. Do it like Signetti. Do it like at least Saban. He got all the great players, but you didn't see him digging at NFL guys.
It's because you have to know how to recruit. Like what Signetti's doing over in IU, he's able to say forever that he turned one of the worst football universities around in 2 seasons to be an undefeated football team. And now players all over the country are going to want to come play for this guy because he makes good football players who just sent, what was it? I think it was 8 or 9 guys went, not even undrafted. They went drafted to the NFL this
Yeah,
year. That's a
100%.
that's a big number. So be like that. Be a coach that's going to be able to prove to guys you're going to make them better rather than trying to go get like professional level guys to come play at your team because you
Yeah,
need that in order to
that's
win.
the NIL is broken. College, bro. College is broken. And
Unfortunately.
it really it's about who can pay the most, unless you get that unicorn like Signetti, who could just turn around a program regardless. But you don't know how hard that is, bro. He has so much experience, like that played a factor. He's built programs before. Like look what he did at James Madison. Nobody
Exactly.
like James Madison was a really good program when he left it.
And his players loved him so much that he had, I think it was like 15 transfers from, or 23, it was something like that,
Yeah.
transfers from James Madison to IU. And that's how these guys wanted to, like Surratt, who was one of our best wide receivers last year. He wanted to follow Signetti, so he transferred to IU. And then he became a, what was it, third round draft pick, fourth round draft pick to the
Yep.
Ravens.
To the Ravens. Yep.
And now he's a professional player. That's the type of coach you need to be. And that's what these guys are going to want in a coach.
Yeah. I like
Lane
Lane
Kiffin's done
Kiffin
a
though,
lot of
bro.
guys wrong in the last 6 months,
I
eight
like
months,
Lane
whatever.
Lane Kiffin. He. It's hard to explain because he does have great qualities of coaching. I just don't like the route he took. And he's a grown man. He could do whatever he wants to do. If he feels like it's the best decision for him, great. But I just don't like what it's doing to college football, is all I'm saying.
So it seems like his coaching is good, but what he's doing on the other side when it
Like the
comes to it being
morals.
like a market,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like the morals behind it, the just like he's not the only one either. Like the Steve Sarkeesian from Texas.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
those guys, they are buying their way and they're still not winning. Like, what is that telling you
Mm-hmm.
about their coaching, bro? Like, you guys get all of this money every single year to go get these top guys, the guys that you think are top guys, and you can't even win it
Yeah.
all.
Because I guess that is what separates Lane Kiffin. Like Ole Miss was not expected to be a team that could possibly win the college football championship last year,
Right.
but they did because Lane Kiffin's coaching. I mean, he made
Exactly.
Trinidad Chambliss look like a dog last
Yeah,
year.
he turned Ole Miss around for sure.
Exactly.
And I love what he built there. That's why I was hoping he stayed there.
I
But I
was
get
too.
the opportunity for LSU. LSU is one of the biggest programs in the country.
Honestly,
So
I
I
think
wouldn't.
if IU had to
Yeah,
play Ole Miss instead of Miami, we might have lost that game with how Ole Miss was looking, man. With how Ole
they were
Miss was
tough.
looking.
They were
Yeah.
tough. But yeah, man, we looking forward to that. College football has arrived, so I definitely, I'm not a fan of any team. I'm not a Hoosier like Luke, so I'll just be a casual watch and just enjoying the sport. So, um, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about that kick that happened as well. We saw Harrison Butker kick a 69-yard field goal and was able to, break the record unofficially though, because it's not the regular season.
For
Cam
sure.
Little has the record for 68 yards in the NFL. So we want to talk about this a little bit. We want to show this on the clip really fast.
Yeah, check this out. Yeah, man. So obviously you can see what that meant to him. I mean, Harrison Butker made a 69-yard field goal in preseason. Patrick Mahomes is obviously hyped for him. Clearly his knee is all better. Like he's good there. But it begs the question. Cam Little has the 68-yard field goal. That is the NFL record. He made a 70-yarder last year in the preseason. Do you think anybody is going to beat that 68-yard field goal record in the regular season this year?
Honestly, can see it, bro. These kickers are getting good. I
They're
saw a rookie.
ridiculous.
I saw a rookie against the Steelers that he was from the Packers. I can't remember his name, but he was drilling 50 and 60-yard field goals back to back. Like it
Like
was
nothing.
nothing with room to spare. I think
Mm-hmm.
60, I can see a 70-yard field goal this year. I
You think
really
so?
can.
Who?
Yeah, I think guys like Cam Little, like
Mm-hmm.
he has a freaking leg. Like that's 68. He
Mm-hmm.
could probably do that over and over again. You see what he did in the preseason, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll put him on the
He's a
map.
monster. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see him doing it. I think the Steelers, I'm a Steelers fan, but I watch Chris Boswell all the time kick 60-yard field goals. What I would say about Boswell, though, he doesn't have the leg power that
Mm-hmm.
I think a Cam Little has. He has that pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
I
Which
like
is
about him.
arguably more important. Because, like,
I
do you
think
need
so
a
too.
guy that you can possibly put in there in order to make a 68-yard field goal in order to tie the record
Right.
and get you 3 points? Or do you need a guy that you know if you have a 55-yard field goal or less, that he's going to drill that every time? It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
One
Yeah.
guy that we haven't talked about yet is the highest paid kicker in the league, Brandon Aubrey. Dude is
Another
also
guy.
pinpoint accuracy, but
Yeah.
he does have that leg on him too. Like
Yeah.
he can kick the hell out of a ball. I will say there's a lot of these kickers. It's just like, how are they doing this? Like it's so crazy the way that the league has changed when you used to think, oh, this is a far 49 or
Yeah.
52-yard field goal. They may miss this. And now it's like to some of these guys, it's a chip shot.
It's an extra point. Yeah, bro. Like it's getting bad. Like it's getting good. I think if you don't have a kicker that can kick at least 60 yards, you're at a disadvantage in the NFL.
Yep. Exactly.
So
One of the dude The guy that they call the thicker kicker from LA, his name's Harrison Mevis. Watch out for him this year, bro. I'm telling you, he
Kicker, kicker. I
thicker
never
kicker.
heard.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta watch him, dude. He was the one that made the game winning field goal in the playoffs last year against the Bears. And he
Oh
actually
yeah, I remember him. Actually, yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know people called him that.
Yeah, dude. Well, fun fact, he actually went to Warsaw High School in Indiana. I had a
Oh,
buddy that I went to college with that actually played quarterback for that Warsaw team while he was the kicker there. I texted him right after. I was like, "Yo,
that's crazy.
he went to Warsaw. You know this kid?" He was like, "Yeah, dude, I held for him in high school."
That's wild. Dang, I didn't know that. Yeah, Indiana's putting out some guys like we're slept on, bro.
They have
Indiana
put
is
out
putting
some
some guys
guys.
in the NFL. Jesse Bates. I don't know if you guys
Tyler
remember
Eifert.
Jalen Smith, Tyler Alford. Yeah, bro. They got more guys coming
Did you
in.
say Alfert?
Tyler Eifert.
Eifert.
Yeah, my bad. I might have said Alfred. I'm sorry. They got
I was
Joe
like,
Tipman.
we can't disrespect our own Indiana guys.
You're tranquil now. I feel like I got to throw all of them out there. I
Drew
can't
Tranquil
leave
went to
none
my
of.
high school.
Yeah, Drew Tranquil was a dog in college, in high school, bro,
Him
and in
and his
college.
brother. Like most people don't know, like haven't heard his brother's name, Justin Tranquil, but he went to Western Michigan. He was also really good.
Oh yeah, I remember watching him. Yeah. So yeah, Indiana as a whole is putting out talent. Not to even mention the guys coming from Indy. So be on the lookout,
Exactly.
man. Don't sleep on Indiana.
Don't sleep on Indiana, man. All right. So, like we have been doing some lives over the week. We do the fantasy football lives essentially, get some questions in here, and we got a couple lucky people that may have asked a question in these lives or sent me a DM kind of asking them. We're going to go ahead and go over those now, but I do want to start out by saying if you guys want to be included in this, maybe your question gets added to the podcast, you just got to follow us on TikTok, join one of our lives, maybe DM me your question, subscribe to our YouTube. I will make sure that we get to you, get to your question, and that we add it in. First question today is going to come from Sebus. He was a really big addition to our last
Yes.
live stream. He asked, "Are you high on Chris Olave this year?" Shep, what you think?
I am personally, especially with the injury to Jordan Tyson this past week. I think he's gonna get like a lot of targets. I could see him being like a top 10 targeted receiver this year based on that injury. So I like the connection that he had with Tyler Shuck at the end of the year. I think they built something, they could kind of build upon for the next few years. They got A Chain or ETN,
Mm-hmm.
however you guys remember him, to kind of take a load off of Shuck and kind of play a more conservative game, and it's not so much on his arm. But then again, I think that will free up a little bit of room for Olave. What's your thoughts?
I am big on Chris Olave as well. After getting that contract and everything, I do think that he's going to have a good season. It is going to depend on how Tyler Shuck plays, but surprisingly, I think Tyler Shuck is an upgrade from him having Derek Carr, not because Shuck is better than Derek Carr, but because for whatever reason, Derek Carr despised throwing the ball to Chris Olave. He would just not do it. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. They just didn't have a connection. I don't know if they didn't like each other. Maybe that's what led to Derek Carr leaving the
Right.
Saints, but Tyler Shuck and Chris Olave, if they build that connection, he definitely could be a top 10 wide receiver by the end of the year because he is that talented. OSU
For
receivers
sure.
always are.
Last thing with that, I just hope he can stay healthy. I know he's had some concussions, his injury past, so I'm just hoping he doesn't get that again. But if he can stay healthy, yeah, he'll have a great year.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay healthy. I think it's going to be a good season for Chris Olave. Moving on to the next one. Sam asked thoughts on Nico Collins this year.
Yeah, I love Nico. He's one of the most underrated receivers in the entire NFL. He's a
Mm-hmm.
guy that you can put on the outside. He could win one on ones. He gets double teamed too, but he's so tough. He's underrated on his route tree as well. He could catch over the middle of the field and take a big shot and still bring it down. As far as rate, I think he's a high end number two on a fantasy team. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't trust him being my number one guy because if I'm being real, I don't trust CJ Stroud enough. So
That
if
I 100% agree with. Not trusting
yeah,
CJ Stroud very much because I do think that he's a little overrated. I think he played too well early on and then just didn't develop well. I think
Right.
what we talked about earlier with Kayshawn Booty joining the team is actually going to benefit him a lot because
Hmm.
now they have two deep threats in Tank Dell and Kayshawn Booty, which means that they're going to draw the safeties almost every time when they have to go deep. And Nico Collins is going to be open in the middle of the field if he's on a one-on-one, no problem about it.
Yeah.
Or if you have to get a linebacker to to double him, I just don't think that's going to end well. So I do think that he's going to have uh double digit receptions quite a bit this year,
Yeah.
as long as CJ Stroud can throw the ball accurately.
Yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud, he has a lot to prove this year, bro. The way he performed in the playoffs, that's unacceptable for him,
Exactly.
especially coming off his rookie year where he went absolutely crazy. So, plus they got Diggs and Montgomery. That's another pickup that, I think will help out their passing game a little bit just because, he's going to take a load off of CJ Stroud.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. And then the last question that we have here, my favorite question actually, is from David. He asked, what did Jaden Daniels do last year to be considered a top QB this year? What do you think about that?
Bro, we're going to sit here and act like Jaden Daniels was hurt all last year. We know why he's going to be a top drafted quarterback. He's one of the best dual threats in the league.
Mm-hmm.
People act like it's fantasy football, bro. We're not talking about best quarterbacks in the league. We're talking about fantasy. Like he's clearly one of the best fantasy quarterbacks. So if you're starting a dynasty team, if you're in a redraft league, you're going to pick Jane Daniels. There's only probably about 3 or 4 quarterbacks in his tier that can do what he does running the ball.
Yep.
So I love the pickup of Stephon Diggs. I'm high on Washington this year. What's your thoughts?
Washington's one of those teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that I think might end up making it this year, and we'll definitely talk about that on a later segment for sure when we get closer to the NFL season. But
Yeah.
that is 100% because I think Jaden Daniels is going to be good this year. He got injured last year, and last year also happened to be a sophomore slump. I believe that was his second season.
It
Right?
was. Yep.
Yeah. That's what I thought. So also his sophomore slump, you've got a top wide receiver, top 15 wide receiver in Terry McLaurin. You added Stephon Diggs, who was absolutely incredible. Looked like almost prime Stephon Diggs last year when he was getting the ball thrown from by Drake May. You have a triple
Mhm.
threat offense because Jane Daniels is able to run the ball, and his two running backs that he's going to have in the backfield, Rashad White and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, they can both be easy dump off backs that he can just dump the ball off to, and they can make something happen. So I
Yeah.
100% think Jaden Daniels should be one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football this year. Very likely, if he stays healthy all year, he would be top five, possibly even top three.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, bro. He has the weapons, and his talent is undeniable. He's one of those quarterbacks that can not only run, but his passing is elite, bro. He puts it on the money. He has a
Exactly.
big arm.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I believe in Jay Daniels. I wish the Steelers got him.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, dude. Because yeah, you guys are having some quarterback thing. I mean,
Quarterback
yeah,
issues. Yeah.
week one of the preseason, y'all were like, "Oh yeah, the future is bright." Week two of the preseason, you're like, "Uh,
Hey,
Aaron, are
but
you sure
one,
you're retiring this year?" Because
bro. But then you gotta admit, I did say one thing. I said 1 week you play good, the next week you don't. I said
you
that
did
last
say
week.
that. Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
it's real, bro. You never know in preseason. So yeah, we'll see, bro. Drew Aller probably gonna be the guy though. Drew Aller is the guy.
I hope so. But to cap off the Jaden Daniels thing real quick, I think that this question was asking what he did last year. You don't base this off of last year. You base this off of 2 seasons ago when he was absolutely elite and what his capabilities are. That's what I'm asking you guys to look into when you're drafting this year. Other than that, do you have any last second thoughts on this, Shep?
Man, no, I'm in a fantasy draft myself, so I wish I had the opportunity to draft him. He was going too quick. So
I was
uh,
my dynasty league drafted last year. I took him 10th overall. I'm that high
mm,
on him. I'm that high on him.
yep, for sure.
But all right. Yeah, I think that's it. Sixth podcast down. We appreciate you guys so much for joining us like always. Obviously, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow to our socials that you're seeing right here below. We appreciate you guys coming here every week. We are going to be doing some more lives this week. We just got to figure out exactly when. So make sure that you're following the TikTok so you get notified anytime we go live. Again, we will throw some of your guys' questions on the podcast. If you want to be included in that, best situation you have to be is if you send me a DM with your question. Or send our podcast channel a DM with your question.
Yeah,
But...
they know what you meant.
Any other thoughts you got, Shep?
No, man. Again, shout out to us, man. Shout out to you guys for getting us to that 50 subscriber mark. Meant a lot to us because I know we've been putting in a lot of work for this. So again, keep subscribing, keep coming up with topics, keep bashing us on those comment sections, even though we're gonna stand on our business. But hey, that's what it's all about, man. We just want to get people together, talk sports. That's what this all is.
And I gotta let everybody know right now, no matter how much you want me to, I am never getting rid of my podcasting equipment. So
You said you got all your Halliburton jersey. You did that out of spite because everybody's bashing me right now.
Hey, baby, Halliburton All-Star, baby.
For sure.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks, guys. Obviously, we had a lot of fun, like always. Comment what you thought below. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we're going to see you guys next Thursday.